Hi everyone, John here with a quick video. It's probably not going to be quick, you know what my videos are like. Pellegrini has come out saying that he wants to bring in 7 players in this transfer window. So I thought it'd be quite a good idea and get a bit of interaction going with you guys. So please drop your comments in the comment section below of who you want to stay in the current squad and who you want to see go in the current squad. I've asked people on Facebook and on Twitter. Nobody's responded to my Twitter answer questions as usual, but I've asked a few different forums on Facebook, and I've asked a few friends as well. It's quite interesting that everybody seems to be of the same mind, really, bar a couple of players, but everybody seems to be of the same idea, that the same players we need to keep and the same players we need to get rid of. Now, as everybody knows, in the normal transfer window for West Ham is 2 to 3 new signings out of nowhere. Not out of nowhere, but not, just new signings, and then all of a sudden there's a 1 out, 1 in policy. So I think it's a great idea to start this running. So please, as I say, guys, put your comments in the comment section below of who you want to see go and who you want to see staying. So let's start off with, as we always do, so following up in the kind of like the team sheet lineups. Let's start off with goals. So obviously Joe Hart has now returned to Man City. Thank fuck for that. So that leaves us with Adrian and Nathan Trott in goal. Now, personally, I believe that we should be keeping both players. I would like to see Nathan Trott as a number 2. I can't see it though. Adrian has been brilliant for us ever since he joined us a few years ago. He played half the season, had more clean sheets than Joe Hart, made more saves than Joe Hart, made more clearances than Joe Hart, made fewer mistakes than Joe Hart. Yes, he was still a bit of a squeaky bum time with his arrogance on the ball, but not as much as Joe Hart. So us releasing Joe Hart back to City when the season finished was a fantastic idea, and I love that idea. We should have done it. He shouldn't have played. He should have gone back in January, to be honest. But it was a season-long loan, so we had to do it. Now, obviously, Patrice Evra has gone. I'm not bothered, to be honest. I don't really care. James Collins has also gone as well. That I am fuming about, as you'll see from my previous videos I've done on the subject. Pellegrini wants faster players, faster younger players, and fair enough. But at least keep him on in the back room. So anyway, let's start off with the goalkeeping scenario. So as I say, Adrian to stay, Nathan Trott to stay. We're linked with a couple of goalkeepers. Willy Caballero so far. Please, come on, seriously. Really? Just because they work together at City? Really? There's also a PSG goalkeeper, the name escapes me. I don't know enough about him, so I can't say anything. But yes, we need another goalkeeper, it's clear. Nathan Trott is one for the future, from what I'm understanding. Right, so, defence. As I said, Collins is gone. Big shame. Really, really big shame. Loved him in both spells. Played with heart and soul. Now, in terms of the defence, we've obviously got Winston Reid, Aaron Cresswell, Zabaleta, Ogbonna, Byram, Masuaku, Reece Oxford and Declan Rice, and technically Kouate, as he can work as a centre back. So for me, let's start off with Winston Reid. It's a big shame, but I want to see Reid go. I love him to bits. He's been a fantastic player for us. Again, plays with the heart and soul all the time. It's just his injury record. That's the only reason why I want him to go. We need a centre back that's more reliable. I know it's difficult because centre backs are always put themselves on the line, left, right, and centre, are the most injury prone. But yeah, I personally I need to see Reid going. I'm sorry, Winston, you've been brilliant with us. There's obviously rumours that because he's over in China and that cryptic Instagram message he put up the other day about onto the new destination, he could be off. I don't want to see him go, but I don't want to see him stay either. It's really, really difficult. I mean, as I say, when we got him in the year we were relegated, under Avron Grant. He was poor. I was screaming for him to go when we got relegated. But to his credit, he stayed around. He proved himself in the Championship, and up until a couple of seasons ago, it's been an absolute rock in the back four, back five, back three, which way you want to class it. He still is a rock, but his injuries are getting worse. They're getting more frequent. Apparently, he's got some muscular dystrophy, I think you pronounce it, condition, which means that he takes longer to recover and he's more injury prone. As a result of that, sorry, Winnie, mate, but we've got to see you go. We really do. Next up is Aaron Cresswell. Again, a player I want to see gone. He's brilliant. He has his moments, but just like Kawati, that's it. He has his moments as far as I'm concerned. These are my personal opinions. If you don't agree, guys, by all means, drop your comments down. But for me, Aaron Cresswell has to go. He really has to go. He's got Antonio syndrome to a degree. Ever since he got his England call up, he's not played with the same level of confidence. Yes, okay, there is an argument about the injury that he got a couple of seasons ago, and he hasn't been the same player since. Agreed 100% on that. He does make a good amount of tackles. We don't seem to notice it quite a lot, but he does make a good amount of tackles per season. But for me, as I say, Cresswell has to go. Sorry, Cress, but the relationship's over from my point of view. So Zabaleta. Now, apologies, guys. Some idiot is cutting their grass in the street behind me, and I try to do everything I can to nullify the sound. So as I say, Zabaleta, brilliant first season from him. Works his arse off. Isn't the fastest paced player at all. It would be good to keep him as a right back rather than the wing back this coming season. On that basis, I want him to stay if he's played as a right back. If we're going to be playing as a wing back, no. He's culpable. He's a great player. I love him to bits. I love his passion. He's a proper West Ham style player. Wish we'd had him 8, 9 years ago. But yeah, it's just, I'm sorry, Zabs, but if you're not playing at proper right back, then we can't have you for much longer, I'm afraid. Same with Sam Byram. Big potential. I don't believe it's his injury record. I think it's more to do with the fact that it's a discipline issue. Like Zabaleta, he likes to get booked. But for me, Byram is definitely the one out of the two that has to go first. If we can get two younger, faster right backs, then that would be fantastic. Byram off and Zabaleta on the bench is cover for the last 10-15 minutes of the game, because Zabaleta's first 10-15 minutes are brilliant. They really are good, but he's not the youngest of people, bless him. But I love him for his passion. I want him to stay for his passion, but should he be playing every week? I don't think so. I really personally don't think so. Ginge, we've talked about. Ogbonna is a stay for me, big time. I know he's still pretty shaky at the back, but him and Declan Rice, who I also want us to stay, obviously, I'll go into in a moment. But the centre-back pairing between Rice and Ogbonna have been fantastic for this last season. Ogbonna is getting back to the player that we love. I can see why we bought him now. He's, we've had him for, what was it, 3 seasons? 2 seasons? 3 seasons? And well, it's 2 seasons because we got him before we came into the Olympic Stadium, I think. Was it 3? Anyway, one of the 2. He's been brilliant. He's been getting better from season after season. Fair play to him. The season before last, he played with an injury for months, and once we knew we were safe, he went off and got his surgery done. So that alone is good enough for him to stay as a centre back. I absolutely love that about him. He's brilliant. I can't fault him in any shape or form. Yes, he makes mistakes, but everybody else does. We all make mistakes. I've made mistakes. You've made mistakes. Whether you want to admit it to yourself or not, we all make mistakes. But as I say, he does have the tendency to make mistakes in the most important times of games, but he's still learning. He's still relatively young. Was he 24, 25, 26, something like that? He's still quite a young player, still got a lot of potential, and for that reason alone, I want him to stay. Now, Masuaku. Masuaku, to me, is very along the same sort of lines as Zabaleta. Okay, for me, he needs to be played more as a wing back rather than an actual left back, or possibly even a left winger. You know, now that we've got an Arnautovic up front on a regular basis, because he is a centre forward stroke attacking midfielder, which way you want to look at it. Masuaku as a left wing, tracking back as a left wing back. Sorry, yes, by all means, 100% stay. 100% stay. We do need another left back stroke wing back, especially as I say if Cresswell's going, or in fact indeed he does go. But yeah, as I say, you know, it's just Masuaku. I love a lot of people of the opinion that he should. Well, actually, no. Thinking about it, Masuaku has divided a lot of opinion between people. Reece Oxford. I don't know about this kid. I really don't. Apparently, he's keen on staying in Germany. If the kid wants to stay in Germany, let him stay. Let him stay there. If he's happy at Mönchengladbach, then yeah, by all means, keep him there. I haven't seen enough of him to be able to give a proper opinion on him. From the games I have seen, he's not good enough. So personally, I would want him. From what I've seen from him, I want him to go. Of course, as he's a youngster, I want him to stay, learn his experience the way Tompkins did. And that ilk. You know, it's been a long time. I mean, with the exception of Declan Rice, it's been a long time since we've had a centre back coming in from us. So you know, I want him to stay. I really want him to stay. But if he's not good enough, he's not good enough. And by the looks of things, he's not. Okay, so Declan Rice, as I said, junior, come through the ranks season before last, brilliant. Really established himself. Season just gone, and he's got a lot of potential. Could be the next Bobby Moore. I love the way he reads the game. I love the fact that he's 19 and doesn't care about putting in strong tackles, but he pretty much times them right. Yes, he's made mistakes. For example, about like Newcastle away, but he had three players bearing down on him. He's going to make that mistake. He was 18 at the time. You know, he's going to make mistakes. As I said, everybody makes mistakes. We shouldn't punish people for mistakes. We should punish from people if they don't learn from their mistakes. And Declan Rice learns in every single game I've seen him play. He's getting better and better. He's reading the game brilliantly. Could be the next Bobby Moore. He has that potential. So let's see where he goes. And for me, as I say, he stays. Snodgrass, Robert Snodgrass, out on loan, but he's coming. Should be playing today. In fact, at the championship playoff final. I will be doing a video about that. So guys, by all means, please stick around for that because that should hopefully be coming up later today. Fingers crossed. But as I say, Robert Snodgrass, harshly treated by the board, not exactly good enough. Season before last. Is he going to be better next season? Only time will tell. We'll see how he gets on in the friendlies, and we'll see how he gets on in the playoff final today as well. So for me, jury's out on Snodgrass. I wouldn't be sad to see him go. I wouldn't be sad to see him stay. I wouldn't be happy for either. So I say jury's out for me on that one. Obiang. I like Obiang. I really do. I'm taking that thundercunt ball of goal that he scored against Spurs that put us 1-0 up before we conceded exactly the same goal against Kim or Key, whatever his name is. Good player. I really rate Obiang. He works hard. His passing ability is not brilliant. He does tend to give the ball away quite a fair bit. Not as much as everybody seems to think, because a lot of the time people do intercept the balls. But yes, his passing ability isn't fantastic. I think he deserves one more season and see how he gets on myself. If we got a stupid offer for him, I'd be happy to see him go, but I'd be happy to see him stay at the same point. All right, now Manuel Lanzini called up for the Argentine squad for the World Cup. I want him to stay. I've been rated about him ever since we got him in the first place. The first game I saw him was the Europa qualifier, the first home game under Bilic, when Bilic was properly announced to everybody. I rated him. I've been rating him ever since. I've loved him. I think he's great. He really does. I love the song he's got that he plays the West Ham way. He does. His movement is fantastic. He's still lacking in confidence, but I think he will be better as time goes on, especially if he's got decent midfielders around him, which I'm hoping Pellegrini is going to try and do. So for me, Lanzini is a stay, 100%. Mark Noble, Mr. West Ham, has been with us. Apart from when he was playing for Arsenal juniors, and then he signed up and came through our academy that way. Love him, absolutely love him. I know why people criticise him a lot. He is coming to the twilight end of his career now. We have seen better days of Noble, but he works hard. He really, really pushes people to get to their ability. You've seen him do it to Kouyaté numerous times. We've seen it do it to Obiang a few times. We've seen him do it to Arnautovic to keep him pumped. He's the captain we've wanted for a long, long time. The only problem is, as I say, he's coming to the twilight of his years now. 2, maybe 3 seasons left. Mark Noble is at the right time where he can consider doing his badges. But as I say, I want him to stay as long as, like we were with Ginge, I want him to stay as long as possible. So, but as I say, he will be coming to an end soon. But in the meantime, I want him to stay. I know he has a lot of his critics out there, which seem to be growing more and more with each season. But that's because he's coming to the end of his career now, unfortunately. Joe Mario, yes, I know he's not part of the squad, but there are stories apparently that we are in talks with Inter to sign him up permanently. Personally, I think another loan deal, just to give him a full season to see how he gets on. He has showed a lot of potential over the last couple of months, really getting it. He's got, for somebody who's never played in the Premier League before, probably doesn't speak that good English, probably better than me from that. Scored 2 goals, really adapted since he came in January. So, for a midfielder to score 2 goals for, was it 15, 16 games that he's played? It's not bad. It's not a bad ratio. It's not brilliant, but it's not bad, especially for a first season. I personally want him to be signed up either on a full season loan or a full-term contract, maybe 2 or 3 years. I like him. I think we should keep him, and I'm glad I saw that we're in negotiations with the club. Okay, so Haksabanovic signed this time last year, give or take a few weeks. Very good player. Not seen much of him, so I'm not going to go into it too much. From what I've seen of him, he is a really good player. He's only played a handful of games. I remember him playing early in the. He played against. I think he was in the team against Chelsea when we beat him in the cup season before last. Very good player. I want him to stay. I want him to progress. But as I say, I can't say too much about him as a result. Next up is Fernandes. Very young midfielder, a lot of potential. The ability for me is getting there. A lot of people want to see him gone. I can understand it. I don't agree with it. I mean, I do, but I don't. I don't agree that we should get rid of him so hastily. I think we should give him some more time. He hasn't had a lot of starts. He needs to bulk up big time. He's a very slim guy. But having said that, so is Raheem Sterling. It's not necessarily physical strength, even though the Premier League is getting more and more physical. But for me, I'd keep him. I would honestly keep him. And again, like Obiang, give him one more season, see how he gets on. Josh Cullen, as well, for that matter. Not seeing enough of him to properly rate him. He played a handful of cup games for us. Not the finished article just yet. I'd like to see him stay, go out on another loan, possibly get some more experience and see how he gets on with that. Reece Burke, as well, for that matter. Again, been out on loan, a junior. Can he do it? I don't know. I'd like to see him stay, purely because he's an academy graduate. He has the potential, but he hasn't got the confidence yet. So maybe another loan out in the summer will help him. Domingos Quina, a junior. Again, we've not seen much of him. The jury's out for me. I can see he's got potential there. I can see that he's got a lot of work to do at the same point. Should he stay? Yeah, he should. As far as I'm concerned, yes, he should. And Arnautovic. Don't get me started on this rumor about him going to Man United. Absolutely ridiculous. And Arnautovic stays. For me, stays all day long. All day long. I want to see him have a full consistent season this time round. Very shaky under Bilic, very shaky under Moyes to begin with, and then all of a sudden, boom, bang, what a player. Can he do it for another season? I really hope he can. Michail Antonio, for me, has to go, I'm afraid. His arrogance is getting worse in terms of his style of play. He also doesn't seem to want to be at the club much more. I loved him. I thought it was great when he first came through, but it's difficult to quantify with Antonio. He was a brilliant player until he got his call up for England, and it just changed. He just absolutely changed from there, and he's getting more and more injury prone. I don't know if it's just because he's too bulky or the clubs have been rushing him back. I don't know. It's just, for me, Antonio, I love his spirit. He was raw data, but he's not anymore. So yeah, I'm sorry, mate, but it's time for you to step down. Andy Carroll, gone as far as I'm concerned. Great player back in the day. Great player for Newcastle. Didn't do much for Liverpool. Wasn't very good for England. I know he scored a couple of goals, but he wasn't very good for England. For me, he's gone. He's too injury prone. His wages are too high for his ability. For me, he's gone. And where are we? Hernandez, aka Chicharito. As you probably saw from my post-mortem of the West Ham season, I want him to stay 100%. I think he needs a better chance, and it'd be interesting to see. Apparently, Pellegrini has said to him that he wants to make him the main man along with Lanzini and Arnautovic. Great. We've been crying out for a striker like him for donkey's years. Would be nice to see him score a goal outside the box. So I guess that's what Pellegrini wants to work on him. But as I say, yeah, good. Keep him up. Keep him at the club as much as possible. And last but no means least, Hugill, the token striker buy in January. Love him to bits, but yeah, no, he's got to go. He's not Premiership ability. He's only played 20 minutes since he came in January. He's got pace on him. He's got pace. He's a bulk. Possibly see how he gets on this season, but I wouldn't be shocked to see him go, and I wouldn't be shocked to see him stay either. Apparently, he is one of the players we're looking to offload, possibly either on a loan or to sell and get the 9 million back we paid for him, 9-10 million, whatever it was. But yeah, so there you go, guys. That's my season roundup. So there you go, guys. That's my player roundup of who I feel should stay and who I feel should go. As I said, please, by all means, keep your put your comments in the comment section below. I'm very, very interested to see what you think of it. Trying to build up a bit of a community going here. So people, please talk to each other. Talk to each other about your comments. If you're new around here, please, and you like what I'm doing, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you get first dibs on the videos coming out. Please, if you like the video and you feel I deserve it, please click the like button. Please also feel free to share the love and the videos. any of them, not just this. Share any videos you want, you know, because they're trying to grow the channel. It's you guys that make the channel work. You know, I'm doing my best to get everything going for you. Trying to do as much as I can for yourselves. Obviously, work commitments make it very, very difficult during the week. Weekends easy, but which is why most of my videos do come out at the weekend. So thanks very much for watching. As I say, put your comments down below of who you want to see, who you want to go. More content coming up this weekend, not just on this channel as well, but there's also be a video coming up on my second channel. If you haven't subscribed to that already, if you haven't subscribed to my new channel, please click on the link below in the description, and I'll see you guys later.